Midsummer.
And we are Two Paper Girls.
Today we're doing our February wrap-up and we're filming this on what Amy's called Magic Day because it's a weird 29th of February, which meant we got an extra day of reading, not that that really helped our wrap-ups that much.
I am really excited about Magic Day. Anything can happen, and we've read quite a few books this month, and there's quite a variety of like poetry, graphic novels and books, so let's get into it.
The first and only fun book I read this month is Naive Super by Erland Lowe. I bought this with some Christmas money and it was really short, so I took it on a long journey with me to Amsterdam because I had a 12-hour coach journey, so I thought this is light, but I'll probably get quite a lot of it read combined with sleeping. It was okay. I was expecting it to be like Perks of Being a Wallflower, but with the 25-year-old, because that's kind of how it's set up, but it wasn't like as good as Perks. It was alright. It was a guy just kind of breaking down, and he buys kids' toys and chucks rubber balls, and he's got a very simplistic style of writing, which was okay to begin with, but it got really repetitive. The book was just too repetitive. I mean, I could understand what it was trying to do, and it was quite a good meaning to it, but it was really samey to read and got quite boring, and the ending was really depressing. I thought it was ended on quite a high note, and then it just has this extra little bit at the end which just is like, oh, that's just sad. I would recommend this still, but I think I only gave it 3.5 stars.
The first book that I read in February was Return of the Soldier by Rebecca West. I read this for my modern and contemporary module, and it was really good. It's about this crazy woman who's in love with her her cousin's husband, and he comes back from the war and he can't remember either of them, and it's just a bit ironic. It's alright. I'm probably going to do my coursework on this. It's not the best book in the world. It's quite short though. I think I gave it 3 out of 5 stars.
The next thing that we both had to read this month is Vendetta by Alan Moore and David Lloyd. This was for our literature and popular culture module, and this was fun to read because it's actually in popular culture and we both knew what it was beforehand, and I really enjoyed this. I think I gave it 4.5 or 5 stars because I just love all the themes in it and the meaning. This is actually a lot better than the film as well, but I already loved the film going into it, so I knew I was going to enjoy it, but I kind of knocked off a little bit of a rating because I really didn't like the art style. I know it's kind of just how art, graphic novels were done at the time, but it just made it really hard to read. It was too black and all the characters kind of looked the same, all these policemen. But I really loved the story and the messages behind this, and I just really like it.
I haven't seen the film until we found out we had to read this, and I watched it this month as well as reading the graphic novel. I preferred the graphic novel too. The film was just too... I didn't like Stephen Fry in it. I was just like, I'm in the zone, and then Stephen Fry arrives, and just is this an episode of Have I Got News for You? But the graphic novel was really good. I don't like the love story in it, and the art style got on my nerves. But apart from that, it was a really good graphic novel. I really liked the music bit in it, and generally it was really good. I think I gave it 4 out of 5 stars. The next thing that we both had to read this month is a selected poetry anthology by Linton Kwesi Johnson, who is a Jamaican poet. He does his online ones as well, so you could go check him out, which he does live readings of his poetry. It's all written, I went really high then, it's written in Jamaican patois, that one. Yeah. And I didn't really like it for that reason, because I didn't really know, I couldn't read it. But then I was like, if you read it out loud, then it becomes clear. And I faulted this collection because all the poems are about the same thing, they're all about the exact same thing, over and over again. But it's a good message, so I think I gave it 3 out of 5 stars.
Yeah, I think I gave this 3.5 stars because, like Amy said, it does get quite repetitive, but I think that always happens when I read a poetry collection. I prefer dipping in and out of poems at random times, so reading them back to back. They did get quite samey, but like Amy said, it had a really good message of oppression in London and the way black people are treated and how that's kind of in society. So it was important to read, but it got quite repetitive, but I did bookmark quite a few of the ones I did really like though, because some of them were really good.
The next thing I had to read is a collection of images poetry by just general people like Ezra Pound, Hilda Doolittle, D.H. Lawrence. But the imagists were really weird people. They had these definitions of what imagist poetry was, and Pound didn't even stick to it himself. It was really strange. It's from the early 1900s, from about 1912 to 1915. So this movement was only 3 years long. You could could still argue it's still going on today, but they just wanted like minimal words, like tiny poems. And I didn't really enjoy reading this because they got really samey because they're so short, and that not really got any kind of rhyme scheme or proper rhythm to them. They're not written in metre. It's just the musical verse, apparently, what it's meant to be. But looking back on this when we were studying it, I actually really enjoyed it, and I'm probably going to do my coursework on it too. And I think I gave it 3 out of 5 stars.
The next thing we both had to read for our module Literature and Popular Culture is Batman Arkham Asylum. This is one of the most famous Batman graphic novels, one of the most famous graphic novels, like, in general. We got told in our lecture it's like the best-selling graphic novel ever, but it still only sold like 400,000 or something, which doesn't seem like that much for it to be the best one ever. But I really enjoyed this. It was really dark and gritty, but I think I gave it 4 stars because of that, because sometimes it was like trying too hard to be like really dark, and Batman was like, oh, my psychology, I'm so messed up, and he just seemed a bit out of character, and sometimes it was like trying a bit too hard to be scary and creepy, but overall it did really work. I'm probably going to write my coursework on this because it has a lot of like really interesting ideas and things of like modern gothic and things like that, so I did really enjoy it and I would definitely recommend it.
I would too. I really enjoyed this graphic novel. As Laura said, it did try too hard. It was really creepy in some ways. It was difficult to read, and also the references, because the script at the back, because this is like an anniversary copy, the script at the back says some really odd things about subtext that no one is going to get apart from this guy who wrote it. And I just think that's kind of lost on the reader, and why would you do that? But yeah, it was really enjoyable to read.
And the last thing we both had to read, again for Literature and Popular Culture, was Etailer, Brynn Benton, Marleybone by a person I can't see, Ravi Thornton.
Yeah, Ravi, good old Ravi.
This was really weird. I enjoyed it more than I thought I would though, because just flicking through it I was like, this is just going to be creepy and horrible, but it was all like a dark moral tale about the one, like the author getting over being raped, which was like so horrible, and it was hard to see how that's really in the story, but we haven't had our lectures and stuff on this yet, so hopefully they will clear things up a little bit. But yeah, the art was really creepy, but overall it was quite fun to read. It took like half an hour. I don't really know what it was trying to do, but I liked it.
I don't understand either. We have a context lecture on this, so hopefully that will clear things up. It actually has a soundtrack that goes with it that you're meant to listen to while you're reading it. That's actually quite sweet, because when it's these two being all creepy, it's very creepy. But the bits where Minnow and Marleybone's just swimming around in the pool, it's quite nice actually. Like, it's not all dead creepy. And it has got a moral. I don't know what it is, but it's got one. I'm looking forward to finding it out. I think I gave it 3 stars too.
And the last thing I read this month was A Midsummer Night's Dream by William Shakespeare, and this was for my module Shakespeare and His Contemporaries on the Stage, which I should have read a lot more things for, but I just got a bit behind with reading. Like, it looks like we read a lot, but reading poems and graphic novels takes like a few hours. Actually reading something substantial was really difficult. But I did really enjoy this. I read it really quickly. I also got to go and see a performance of it at the RSC, and I got to write my coursework based on that performance. So I had to read this really closely and carefully to make sure I like pick up on all the possible things the performance has done or is going to do. Yeah, I really enjoyed this. It's not my favourite play, but I don't think any of the comedies are ever going to be. Like, I really enjoy watching them, they make me laugh a lot, but reading them I'm just a bit like, ugh. I really hate Act 5 of this, the ending with the mechanicals, a group of actors putting on the play for all like the more upper class people. That like final act it's great to watch, but reading it it's so boring. But yeah, I like this. It's lots of magic and fairies and it's pretty good. I gave it 3.5 stars, I think.
And the last book I read in February was Wolf by Ryan Groudon. I gave it 4 out of 5 stars, and I don't want to say too much about this because I did a review and we'll put it down below. But yeah, this is really good. You should go read it.
So that's it for our February wrap up. It actually looks better than I thought it was going to be. It's just because we've only really read uni books. It just feels a bit like, ugh, like we haven't had a great month. But the uni reading was pretty good actually.
We've kind of finished reading for university now in 2nd year, which is a bit insane. There's a few books left, which you'll see on our TBR coming up soon, but we have Easter, a pretty much free reign. So I'm very excited to read some new exciting books.
Let us know down below how your February reading went and if you've had a good magic day.
I'll see you in the next video. Bye!
I like magic
I love
day.
Magic Day.